Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. Today I have a one-pan roasted chicken and potatoes that's cooked in tomato sauce and a little bit of harissa sauce. Harissa, I'll talk about it in a second. It's so delicious. The whole thing, everything comes together in one pan. Everything is done in under an hour and a half, which is perfect for a busy weeknight because you just put everything in the pan. You don't have to pre-cook anything, and you put it in the oven and you forget about it until it's cooked. All you need to do after that is toast some bread, make a nice salad or pasta, and you are good to go. This is known in Greek as a Kokinisto, which basically just means something that's cooked in a red sauce or a tomato sauce. I love using canned tomatoes, and because they're just so simple, I always have them on hand. I like to puree my canned tomatoes because we all like a very creamy and smooth sauce. If you don't mind that, if you don't mind chunky tomatoes in your meal, and some people do prefer that, you can skip the step of pureeing. Now let's talk a little bit about the harissa. Harissa is a sauce that's sold in the supermarket with like the specialty foods or the international foods. You could also find it in a Middle Eastern grocery store or in a Mediterranean grocery store. It's basically roasted red peppers that are mixed with like garlic and red chilies. It's so good. It's pureed and it's loaded with flavor. If you cannot find it, you can just puree some roasted red peppers that are sold in the jar and use those instead. It's gonna have tons of flavor. Let's go over the ingredients so we can start. We have some pureed canned tomatoes, olive oil, salt, black pepper, some feta cheese, which is optional, a little bit of sugar, which is also optional. You can substitute honey if you prefer or leave it out altogether. I have a large onion that's finely chopped with some garlic cloves, a little bit of chicken broth. You can leave it out and use water instead if you don't have it. Some fresh parsley. I have some harissa here that's already prepared. This is basically a roasted red pepper mix, and you can puree some roasted red peppers if you cannot find this. I have some dried oregano, ground cumin, crushed red pepper flakes. I have some potatoes that are cut into about 1.5 inch cubes, and a whole chicken that's cut up. So everything just comes together really easily. You're just going to want to put all of the chicken into a baking tray. We're going to add all of the potatoes. This is a great one-pan dish for those very busy weeknights. Then I'm going to add the garlic and the onion. But first the onion, because we're just going to have to grate the garlic. We're going to add a teaspoon of cumin powder for that earthy, warm flavor. A little bit of crushed red pepper flakes for that heat, and those are optional. 2 heaping teaspoons of oregano, about 2 teaspoons of salt, freshly cracked black pepper, a little drizzle of olive oil, the pureed canned tomatoes, a little pinch of sugar just to balance off that acidity from the tomatoes, and 1 to 2 tablespoons, you could even put 3 tablespoons of this harissa, which is a roasted red pepper dip. Mix everything all together. Put 1/2 to 1 cup of chicken broth. I like to crumble a piece of parchment so that way it stays in place. Cover everything and bake until everything is nice and tender. After 30 minutes, take the tray out of the oven and remove the parchment paper and give it a nice mix. And put it back in the oven, bake it uncovered until the meat is cooked and the potatoes are tender and the sauce is nice and thick. So the chicken baked for 30 minutes covered, then I went in and I uncovered it, I removed the parchment paper, and then I put it back in the oven. I raised the temperature to 450 degrees Fahrenheit, and then it baked for another 45 minutes. You just want to keep checking it. Once the potatoes are fork tender and the chicken is fully cooked, take it out of the oven. It's going to look like it still has a lot of liquid to it, but as it sits, the potatoes are going to absorb the liquid and it's going to thicken to just the right consistency. Go ahead and give it a taste and add some more salt and pepper if you think it needs it while it's still hot. Give it a nice mix and just set it aside to cool a little bit. Then go ahead and sprinkle some freshly chopped parsley on top and it is ready to serve. Make a nice salad, toast some bread, and you have a meal ready with hardly any effort. The oven just did all the work. All you did was mix everything up together. The oven baked it. In that time, you could clean up, get everything ready, and then sit down and have a delicious dinner. I'm gonna go in and take a taste. The chicken is so juicy. The potatoes just fall apart in your mouth. I love the tomato sauce, especially because of that red pepper harissa sauce. The flavor that it adds is just beautiful. It has a little spicy kick to it, but not too spicy where, you know, like kids can't eat it. It's the perfect amount of flavor. I think you guys are gonna love it. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Print the recipe on the website, dimitrasdishes.com. Also, let me know what other recipe requests you have. This whole next month, I'm going to be doing Thanksgiving recipes. So if there's anything that you want to learn how to make, post it in the comment section. I read them all. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me today. I will see you all next time. Yes, us.